Hello everyone and welcome back to IMO Reviews. Today we are discussing White Noise, directed by Noah Baumbach and starring Adam Driver, Greta Gerwig and Don Cheadle. The suburban Gladney family are forced to evacuate their home after a toxic chemical leak in their town. Can they keep together as a family as the world falls apart around them? So jumping straight into what I liked about White Noise, it's certainly very quirky and quite unique in its story. I was certainly interested and beholden to what it had to say. I also thought the performances were quite fun. They're very exaggerated, but they're still believable. Adam Driver and Greta Gerwig are having a lot of fun in these roles, and it's very obvious to see. And I can give some small credit to the children actors in this movie as well. They are often what drags a film down, and in some regard they do here, but we'll get to that. But actually the performances, really solid. They absolutely delivered what they were supposed to. I found the movie to be very competently made. It's not too flashy or artsy. It doesn't get too lost in itself, but still offers a lovely colour scheme, a good costume design, and a strangely offbeat world that does somehow feel tangible. But sadly, that really is where my list of positives end. Quite a complicated list of negatives starts. If I'm being brutally honest with you, I was a little bit bored with this one after a while. It's not particularly funny, and it's desperately trying to be, but it's that strange offbeat humour, and it just really didn't work for me. I found the tones of the movie to be extremely jarring. It doesn't seem to know what genre it wants to be, whether it wants to be a quirky family comedy or if it wants to be a quite nasty and vicious horror. It just really didn't blend, and when it did dip its toe into horror, it sometimes felt like a completely different movie. And had it have just picked one and stuck to one, I really do think it would have been a more cohesive and more attachable film. But because it can't decide, it makes the film feel like it goes here, there, up there, down here, over there, round the corner and back around again. It's very waffly. There's an awful lot of dialogue, and even in the moment when it's happening, it doesn't feel necessary or important. And it isn't. And I do get that that is kinda the point that the movie is trying to make, but it just doesn't make for entertaining viewing, just watching people moan and complain and argue about mundane things. It definitely has something to say about people and life, but sadly it's quite a redundant point. It's a well-known point that many people aren't afraid to say out loud and that many already believe. That the distribution of news and information is blurred and not clear and often twisted to exaggerate its importance. Huge kitchen explosion actually transpires to your Uncle Kevin farted near the fridge. And it's about how little we the people know and will just follow and accept what the mass proportion of people also agree to. And this is all very clearly a metaphor for the pandemic and how we behaved through the pandemic and the madness of that time period. But I do think it's approaching the subject from the wrong angle. Again, it's trying to be light-hearted and whimsical, and isn't this hilarious? And I really wish Hollywood would stop that. They didn't suffer through the pandemic. We did. So please stop trying to entertain us by making light of something where people lost family members, friends, probably died way too young themselves. It's really annoying how badly Hollywood read that situation to the public. It comes across as fucking obnoxious, frankly. So therefore, as much as it does have something to say, I still can't help but feel like you're going to walk out of this feeling shortchanged. So I'm going to give White Noise a 4 out of 10. This is a weird one. I don't really know who to recommend it to or really advise anyone to rush out of their way and see it either. I do appreciate the originality and the good performances, but apart from that, it's long-winded, it's boring, with a fairly mute point. Characters get progressively dislikable with their consistent moaning and arguing, especially in the kids. It thinks it's funny, but it really isn't. The glaring issue for me when watching this movie is that this desperately needs another run through the editing booth. There's about a solid half an hour that can be and should be cut from this movie because it's just nonsense that adds nothing. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and please do hit the comment section as well. Have you seen White Noise? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't had enough of this beautiful little face, you can always get lost in an IMO wormhole with these suggested videos here. But if not, take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.